Hi everyone. Sorry I haven't posted anything in a month, but things are getting back to normal, so this week I'll keep going with the rangefinders and show you the Fujica GS645. First I'll tell you why I got it, and then I'll show you all the stuff about how it feels and sounds. So first off, I got this because I had some 6x6 and 6x7 and 6x9 medium format cameras, but they were kind of big and they didn't have meters, so they were inconvenient when I was traveling to some other country for vacation or just to visit family or whatever. So I started shopping for a 6x4.5 camera, and I've been able to handle a lot of 6x4.5 SLRs, like the Contact 645, the Pentax 645, and the 645N, the Mamiya M645 1000 or whatever it was, and then the Pro models too. And also the Bronica ETR SI, and I liked all those cameras, but they were kind of big, basically the same size as a 6x6 SLR, though it's definitely smaller than a 6x7 SLR. The one problem with those was that they all have electronic shutters, and I've been more and more reluctant to get cameras with electronic shutters just because the repair situation isn't that good anymore. So I wanted a 6x4.5 camera that had a mechanical shutter and also had a built-in meter for the convenience. So I looked around, did my research, and it turns out that these older Fujicas are the only 645 cameras that have mechanical shutters and a built-in meter. So it was a really easy choice to pick this camera. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty well-built camera. It's kind of compact because it folds up, even though it's sort of tall and stuff like that. But the build quality is pretty good. It's a hefty camera, pretty hefty. It has plastic covers though, and some parts here and there are sort of, I don't know, not the highest quality, I don't think. But it's overall kind of nice as far as cameras go. Let's see, so size-wise, compared to a Leica, it's definitely taller because of the larger film, but the width is, it's basically the same as a Leica, so that's pretty cool. They made this pretty compact. From the thickness point of view, it's really not that thick, especially if you compare it to a Leica with a fairly compact lens on it. Just ignore the hood here. So pretty slim package overall, and considering that you're getting much larger negatives out of it. Compared to a compact 6x6 camera like a Rolleiflex, this is the MX EVS Type 2. You can see that, it's a lot wider, of course, and shorter, but it's like really compact that way. So this will fit in a shoulder bag pretty well, but this, if you put it in a soft case, you can throw this in your shoulder bag. Yeah, in a non-camera shoulder bag, like a like a canvas tote bag or something like that, and it's really nice to carry around. This not so much. This is more of like a neck strap camera or something, or a shoulder bag camera. So plus it doesn't have a meter, so this is really convenient for travel. Also, the grip is pretty nice. If you hold it like this, there's a gap right there, and it's not comfortable or anything. But if you hold it down at the bottom, it magically turned into a really comfortable camera. So you just have to get used to holding it down at the bottom with your fingers down there. And so let's see. Okay, next, the front door. It has a nice latch with ridges on it, and it pulls out like that. It's very secure. And kind of rattles around because there's like interlocks in here that move around. So it might give an impression of cheapness, but I don't really think it's really cheap or anything like that, just because of the rattling. And it has a latch here with these two circular nubbins to close it, and it has a nice firm latch to keep it closed. So let's see, the shutter button. It's pretty nice. It has a good amount of travel to it. It's basically like a normal shutter button as far as that goes. Like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 millimeters, really small. Definitely less sensitive than the Mamiya 6 and 7 shutter buttons. I rented a Mamiya 7 once and wasted a couple frames because it's so sensitive. So it's nice to have like just a normal shutter. And it's a little squishy. It gives a little springy springiness to it for the half press of the shutter to turn on the meter, and it's nice and smooth. The shutter is pretty loud compared to the Rolleiflex. It's pretty darn noticeable. So let's do that. Really quiet leaf shutter there. But I don't expect it to be a problem really when you're traveling, because I'm not going to be taking photos with this indoors in quiet places or anything. It's mostly going to be outdoors, so shutter could be quieter, but I don't think it'll kill me. The lock here on the shutter button, nice and chunky, clicks into place. It's a little plasticky though, but whatever. And the film advance lever, ratchety all the way through, forward and backwards, smooth, and it has a standoff point like that. And it's a little wiggly. Not really like a Leica or anything, but it's not bad. And let's see. So next, the viewfinder. The viewfinder is it's not as bright as a Leica, of course. Not as contrasty either. I'd say it's pretty much on par with the Fuji GW690 2 or 3. Yeah. it's noticeably dimmer and less contrasty. But it's alright. It has a blue cast to it, a very distinct blue cast. And just because the viewfinder cover glass on mine is separating, there are magenta and green streaks in the image. It's kind of faint, but you can see it. That's why this one I got was really cheap, because of the separation in the cover glass, and there were also light leaks in the bellows. Gotta fix those one of these days. The viewfinder, it's in vertical orientation, and the frame lines, they're kind of weird because when you focus closer, only the top and the left frame lines move in. The ones on the right and bottom, they just don't move at all. And it's kind of cool how it sort of masks off and stuff in the bottom, but whatever. On the right side, there are LEDs. So there's a plus sign at the top to indicate you're overexposing, and then there's a circle in the middle for when you're spot on, and then there's a minus sign on the bottom to show that you're underexposing. And the rangefinder spot, it's circular with fuzzy edges. Not my favorite, but it's fine. It's a little bit low contrast-ish. Well, maybe just medium contrast. But yeah, the viewfinder is definitely like a notch below something like a Leica or Voigtlander Bessa or Konica Hexar. So, but it's fine. After that, we have all this stuff on the lens. The shutter speed dial has detents for every speed. No half detents. Sort of has a ratchety, springy sound at those lower shutter speeds. It goes from 500 to 1 second. And then here at the top, there's a button for the T setting. So when you want to open up the shutter, you push this button. Yeah, what was that? Oh, the self timer. So anyhow, for the T setting, push down this button, and then to close the shutter, you just hit the shutter button again. And when you advance the film, the button goes back up. It has red sides so you can see it. After that, you've got I forgot to say, the shutter speed and the aperture dials. Since you can't hold it from both sides, it has these round Lego-like nubbins on it, so you can adjust them. But not the most comfortable feeling, and I sort of doubt they're that easy to use with clothes on, so might not have been the best design choice right there. The aperture dial, it's smooth. There are no detents on it. It's a little dry feeling though. The focusing ring, it has a crescent focusing tab, so that's nice. And it's better dampened than the aperture ring. There's sort of like a rough sort of bump when you get to the infinity setting, but that's for an interlock, so you can close the door. And as far as the handling of the focusing ring goes, it's a little awkward when you're doing it like this. So if you're doing that, I would focus this way. in the vertical orientation, and then when you want to actually take a landscape oriented photo, turn it after. Yeah. Aside from that, there's the film speed setting dial. The film speed setting ring, I guess, in between the shutter speed and the aperture rings. It sort of has this raised part to it with the notch in it for your fingertips. It's kind of awkward getting past the nubbin here, but once you do, it's fine. It goes from ISO 1600 all the way down to 25. And also, like you heard it before, when I push the T button, it has a self timer, and you pull that down, and then push the shutter button. Alright, so that's it for the lens. And let's see, what was it? Oh wait, the interlock. I gotta put on infinity. What else? On the back of the camera, you got like the switch to go from 120 to 220. It changes the frame counter. Probably never gonna use that because nobody makes 220 film anymore, unless you get something expired on eBay. And then on the side here, you've got a nice sturdy latch to open the back, and you can see how they really crammed everything in there. It looks sort of like a half frame camera where everything's like squished together, and yeah, they made this as compact as possible, so that's really nice. Yeah, you also have the film spool release buttons there. Let's see. On the bottom, got the tripod socket in the middle, and the battery compartment. That's pretty much it. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty good feeling camera. A little squishy in the door, I guess, and makes sounds when you shake it around, but overall it's a solid, well-made camera. I hope it's reliable as far as the meter goes, because I'm just really kind of pessimistic about keeping all these film cameras in working condition. As long as you stick to mechanical cameras where you can get parts bodies, I think you'll be fine. But anything with electronics, I'm sort of not so sure about. I managed to get some new old stock parts for this camera. You can get new bellows. This material, it's not like the original one, which is sort of like a faux leather. This is more just a straight, flat, textured vinyl covering. I'll put links to all this stuff in the notes. I also got the viewfinder cover glass to replace this one, and also got new film advance lever and this cover panel that goes right here. So if you want to repair and restore your camera, there are parts on eBay. They're pretty cheap. All those pieces were $10 to $15. Very reasonable price. Oh wait, except for the bellows, that was like $50. So I'll put links to those in the description. And yeah, I really like the camera. It has a pretty cool 1980s rugged but high-tech look to it. I like it a lot more than I was expecting. So really cool camera. So that's about it. Thanks for watching, I guess, and I hope you have a good week. Bye.